Do you find yourself in a rush? I'm finding myself feeling as though I need to be so much farther than I am. And while I've said this before, today I'm feeling it very much so. There's been a couple of things that I have come across that are maybe little breadcrumbs, if you will, or hints into the direction that I don't even know if it would be my chemistry or what you would call it. I have dived into learning my human design. We all have a human design, and you can quickly figure out what your human design is by Googling. YouTube has plenty of videos, different people who specialize in the human design. Depending upon where you're born, what time you were born, and where you were born, it's the calculation of numbers. And there's a whole chart that comes with it. And just by knowing those three things, there's a way that they can give you an idea as to what it is that you're meant to be doing in this life. And it's very interesting. And for a while I've heard about it and I've just kind of pushed it off and thought of it as just one more thing that's going to distract me from moving forward. Yet, in hindsight, I'm distracting myself. I am keeping myself stuck in this pattern of fighting myself from moving forward. I'm resisting moving forward. I'm resisting even taking this slower steps that are required for me to move forward. One of the big issues that I have is I don't know exactly where I want to go. I don't have a family, and so I don't have a real purpose. I feel like ever since I lost my little dog, that's been one of my biggest struggles. Is throughout the time that I had her, she was my reason. She was the reason that I went to work, and she was the reason why I pushed myself so that I could give my little dog the best life that I could. After I lost her is whenever I started really diving into this self-worth and like getting to know myself and figuring out what it was I wanted to do moving forward. And while I was super attracted to the make money at home side gig, I've realized as I've been working the last few years on building that new business, that the way that I was going about it was all wrong. My main focal point was the money, not the fulfillment. And so, not that I wasted those years, but there was definitely not, the fulfillment was not there. So here we are in this new venture, and as I'm just throwing spaghetti at the wall with something that could potentially fulfill me more so than just chasing the cash, I've learned a lot about myself, and I can tell that I'm growing at each video that I record. Whether or not I have views or not, I have had some comments, and it's been pretty awesome to be able to connect with certain people who stumble across the video and it resonates with them. And so I'm super appreciative of that. Like, that's super cool. And so even just the little bit of traction that I've been getting through going down this avenue, I have to say that I'm a lot more fulfilled than I had been in the last couple of years. So this human design I decided to look into, and come to find out, my human design is to connect. I'm classified as a manifestor, and then there's a profile number, which those numbers mean something within your subconscious. Like the first number is your conscience and your second number is your subconscious mind. Anyways, it gives you a little bit of a strategy. It gives you a little bit of an idea as to what fits best with your makeup, your body, what you were brought here to do. And while I'm not super knowledgeable about past lives or our written contracts before we come into this world, it's definitely stuff that I've heard, and be it as you will, whatever direction that you go, you understand, you follow, you listen to. It's intriguing to me. I get very interested in all these different ways that people learn about themselves. And what's the harm in getting curious? So going into this human design and coming to find out that I am this manifestor, I am a 4-6 manifestor. that a lot of my cues are pointing towards communication. A lot of the direction that this new information is giving me is that I thrive by connecting with others, and communication is a big skill. And even this morning I was looking at something about the elements within my charts, and honestly I just asked ChatGPT what my element was because I was thinking it was going to be something else, but so who even knows. But this came across as air, which the air element was also communication. And so it's intriguing to me because one of the main struggles that I've had for the last couple of years is really wanting to just go find a rock in the mountains and just completely separate myself from civilization and just go and be peaceful away from society. And while as amazing as that sounds, I also had the inkling within myself that there's got to be more to life. I am not dead yet, and the interactions that I do have with people are pretty awesome. You always have one or two, but I also know that I would be pretty lonely if I had just completely segregated myself. I know that I could do it, and I would probably be peaceful for about a month, and then I would probably get bored, and then I would want to come back because that's a vicious pattern that I have. So it's kind of funny, the whole deal with even wanting to work from home and make online money was more so to go travel and see and experience more things in the world. But because I was in that beginning stage of learning things and I was very in tune and working so hard on trying to learn these new skills, that I did separate myself. And while the point of it was to be able to go and experience things, in reality, I just got myself in this weird loop where I segregated myself and never left the house, which was completely opposite of the point. And so now I'm still in the barbershop 2 days a week, and that's like my only social time. That's like the only time that I am social with anybody. And so I know that there's got to be more of a collaboration between the two. Yes, to make money in some form that's fulfilling, that allows me freedom, that also isn't constricted to a screen. This whole communication and this whole connection information that I've come across between this human design has got me thinking in a whole new direction. And while I am so ready for something new, I understand that there are the steps that are required to be built to gain the confidence, to learn the skills, and to become more fluent or more smooth within my actions to go somewhere that would be more beneficial for myself and for everyone else. And while right now this is so fresh and I just came across this pretty much yesterday, I'm catching myself daydreaming and I'm wondering, and I'm in this state that I've caught myself in the past. If you think of it in a manifestation way of trying to figure out where I want to go, and I honestly don't know where I want to go. I feel like there's so many opportunities out there and so many different directions that life could take me that I realized that coming back and really honing in on these communication skills, which has been something that I have not been the most proud of. I have not been the most fluent in. While I can speak and I don't have a problem sharing my mind, I also get way too much in my mind. And there's definitely some improvements that could occur, if you will. And so I feel as though, because I understand this pattern of catching myself of daydreaming pretty much and just not being here in the present, but being more so in the future, in the what ifs and the that would be nice and the wants, that it's super beneficial. And I have to say, because I have done this over and over again, that I'm glad that I am catching myself doing this early in the stages of coming across this new idea. Because while I know that I won't be here forever, I also know that I don't know what is to come. I don't know what is available to me until I start putting in the action, until I start making those moves. Right before this, I was really kind of stressing, like, man, I really want to go do this. It's summertime now. I want to be outside. I haven't went canoeing in forever. Like, I want to get on a dirt bike. I want to go and explore. I've got some trips coming up that I get to go hike at least. But I realized that there's all these different things that I want to do. And then I completely shut myself down, because I'm like, well, you're in the process of learning this new thing. You have to get yourself established doing this new skill before you can go and have fun, which is that's not really, this is where the balancing comes in, the moderation of having fun and working hard to play hard. But this is a whole new work hard. This is a whole new experience of work, because my work has always been physically and creating things, or typical jobs working for someone else with the layout in my hand. It's physical labor has never been an issue for me, and it's been super easy because it's mindless. But now, and even in these last couple of years of really starting to learn more about, one, how the rich gets richer, and two, coming to terms with what is actually fulfilling to me, and now coming across how my chemical makeup or my human design is geared more towards connection and communication. This is a new kind of work, and this work I have had resistance to from not having very good boundaries in the past, for not understanding this, and for what I thought I had been conditioned, how I thought that I had been brought up, that had just brought on these people pleasing, and not realizing that I had a lower self-worth with the lower confidence. It was all part of this design, and it's really kind of interesting from what this human design system that I was reading was saying, is that people of a manifestor persona, human design, is that they make themselves small because of different aspects about themselves that can sometimes be off-putting to others. And so, the main thing in our human mind is we want to be part of the tribe. We want to be part of the group. Being in situations where you don't feel so accepted, it's survival to start making yourself fit into the box, to bring yourself into that acceptance place that others will gravitate towards you or want to be around you, if you will. And just understanding this has got me to where I understand now the reflections of being really irritated when I come across someone who I classify as weak. And we all have our own meanings to our own words, to different aspects. And just how I was brought up, raised on the farm in the middle of nowhere, vulnerability or weakness was something that irritates me, because I know that people are stronger than they believe they are. And yet, because we are mirrors for each other, I kept coming across this. And because of the work that I've done, I know that if something is triggering you through someone else, then it means that they're just mirroring back to you what's a part of you. So there's this weakness inside of me. And while I was trying to think and conclude what this weakness would be, I also completely skimmed over the fact of what it actually was. And what it actually was, and what it actually is the fact that I am not standing up for myself. I have not been taking authority and taking responsibility for moving forward. I'm keeping myself comfortable. I'm keeping myself in areas that I know, and where this communication and this connection with others is actually a bit scary for me. Brings up a lot of things from the past, different fears that when I sit back and think about them are just gentle fears, more from the stories and beliefs that I've created within my own head. And I see where that weakness within myself is. That weakness of me pushing aside what needs to be done in order to stay comfortable. And so all we can really do is enjoy the day that we're at. And while I'm trying not to get into a rush and daydream and manifest something that I don't even know that the greatness that's going to happen, coming back to the now and the present and actually working on the little steps of building the strength and the skills that will take me to these higher and better wants or desires that eventually I will come across, that eventually I believe the universe will bring to me because I have been taking the action steps, because I have been putting the work in towards this. And while I've also struggled with really wanting someone to tell me what to do, but then absolutely hating being in guidelines and rules, it's a really bad wishy-washy situation. But the ease of someone telling me what to do, I also understand, and this is one of the reasons why I had postponed actually looking into the human design of following what somebody else had to say for me, following something outside of myself, when my biggest practice this last few weeks, few months, whatnot, has been to come back into myself. And like, we all have the answers within ourselves. And so taking the time to actually dig in and feel, listen and feel what is the answer for myself was another fear going into the human design. I was afraid that I was going to just jump into whatever this design said that I needed to do, which to an extent I kind of am. Yet, I will say that sitting back with it, between the human design, the profile, and then the element situation that I checked out this morning, they were all talking about communication. They were all talking about connection. And I've had this inkling idea inside of myself to go about life in a certain way. So with all of them almost synchronizing, if you will, they're all hinting to the same direction, which I have been postponing because of that little fear. So I concluded that if you listen to anyone else, a big thing is you have to face your fear. Like, you have to go through the unknown. You have to face the unknown. You have to go through the fear to find what it is on the other side. Like, the fear, that resistance is only a stepping stone, is only there to give you that confidence once you go through it, and that self-knowing and that building that trust that that's the direction you're supposed to go. And maybe it's not. But I have a really good idea of the fact that it's the things that we are most scared of that are the directions that we are meant to go. And while it would be easy peasy to just keep living on autopilot, living Groundhog Day every day over and over again, it's already irritated the crap out of me once. And I know that there is more out there for me. And so to face this fear is really the only way that I'm gonna get where I need to go. So that's where we are today. Facing the fears and taking the little steps to build the foundation to the higher desire. And who knows what that is. I'm just gonna keep trucking and have faith that as I go along, something will come about. I know it will. It always does. You can't have change until you change. And if all leads are pointing this direction, then honing in on our communication skills is where we're at. So yeah, interesting. It's crazy. I'm sitting here thinking about everything that's worked up to this. And there's those fears of asking people for favors, asking people questions, honestly, little fears that I have overcome. And now I'm to the point where everything is going to work together. And it's going to be great. There's definitely some resistance and there's definitely some fear in there, but we are not our thoughts. And like I said yesterday, we are not what we think, we are what we do. And so with that, we are going to do these little exercises to get more comfortable and put ourselves out there. So, yay! I'd love to hear your experience. Are you a good communicator? Do you enjoy connecting with others? Or have you also had some weird experiences in your past that have maybe had you a little gun shy with connecting to people? I know that the big COVID scared a lot of people from connecting with others, but I'd love to hear. Let me know in the comments. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, hit that. And it'd be awesome if you hit that like, or even if you shared this to someone who you may have been thinking about during this little segment. There's my asks. It's all a practice. All right, my friends, until next time.